Yo, what's up, you guys? It is Monday, August 18th, and we are back with another TnS Daily review. So, jumping right into things, we actually had a pre-market long setup that was still in the process of getting TP, and so this was actually the only 5 minute setup that we had all day. It was basically leading into New York Open, and it did get TP right at open. Now, the thing about this trade, normally I would count these inside of our stats. If 930 taps this entry and then gets a TP, I would count it, and technically speaking, it did. But I'm not going to count this one because realistically, I mean, who's really going to put a limit order here expecting that high to get hit right at 930? Probably no one. And on top of that, there's no other setups for today. I don't want to have the only setup of today just being a play for 11 points when truly there really wasn't any other plays after this. So yeah, I'm not going to count that one. Um, but moving along here, just to show you guys, there actually was not a single TnS 5 minute play. We didn't get anything. So I'm just going to fast forward here all the way till 4 o'clock. So you guys can see there's legit nothing. Not a single play. All right, and so that leads us into basically right now at the time of this recording at 4:55. You can see the 4 o'clock candle right there. Not a single 5 minute play, which is pretty crazy, pretty rare actually on a Monday. Usually the times that we don't get any trades are usually on Fridays, but pretty interesting that we get one on Monday. All right, so these would be our final results for the 5 minute today. Both versions today with no trades. That's kind of surprising there. Like I said, pretty rare that we don't have any trades for a Monday. All right, so moving along here, I'm going to be back testing the 1 minute for the day, or really not back testing, just seeing how it did for today. Making sure my settings are correct on the for the 1 minute TnS. Got V2 checked and 25-point stop. We're going to take it back to 930 here and see what we have. Let me take this off. So yeah, this is the 1 minute TnS. We're going to see how it did today. So we had a long setup there. Looks like it didn't get tagged in. Okay, it gets tagged in here. I'm just going to mark out the stop loss. I do believe this one failed though. So TP was there, but it got stopped. So trade number one is going to be a loss. Okay, so moving on, we create two new short setups, and this one I believe won. So the TP for it is for 17 points. We're looking at the lowest entry here. Of course, there are two entries, but we're looking at the one for 17. This TP is down here. Let's see what happens. Okay, to get TP, so trade number two is going to be a win for 17. Now moving on, we actually tapped into this short setup above. If you're taking the trades in chronological order here, you would take the short first, and then you would not be able to take this long. However, if you were bullish bias, then you could have just settled for the long instead, knowing that the short was going to fail. But in hindsight, here the short did fail, so I'm just going to mark that out. Stop loss for it. Fast forward to see. You can see we got really, really close to the short TP there. Um, Basically, the TP for the short was about 27 points. It got 26 out of 27 points, so legit 1 point away, not even. Got super close and it just failed, unfortunately. But here's the stop loss for the short. I'm just going to show you it did get hit. So trade number three is going to be a loss. Okay, now backing up to that long, because remember there was a short and a long at the same time. The long actually got TP here. So the long entry is right here. The stop loss down there. And the TP up here for 15 points. And that did get hit. So just to show you the TP for the long is basically this little green line here. And that did get hit right there. So trade number four is going to be a win for 15. And once again, just backing up just to double check that did say 15 points. Yeah, did say 15 there. So 15 points from the win there. And then it stops out the short. I do want to back up because I do believe we had a long here that failed. Yeah, so this was a long setup here and the stop is right there. Pretty sure it failed. Yeah. So trade number five is a loss. And that leads us into this next long setup here. The entry's there. The stop loss is way down here. Let's see how it did. TP way up there for 37 points. I'm not sure what happened here. We got stopped. Okay, so trade number 6 is going to be a loss. Okay. Now we have another short up there. It looks like we're going to leave it. We get a new long setup. Okay, so this one got TP. There's a new long setup right here. Gets tagged in. You can see the TPs for 17, and it did get hit. So trade number 7 is a win for 17. Now moving on. Didn't get another play for a while. Let me double check that wasn't a long. It's not a long. Moving on. I'm just going to fast forward a bit. Okay, we had a short here. This one got really close, and it did end up winning. So I'm just going to mark up the stop loss here. The TP's way down there. I'm going to fast forward a bit. So I'm going to pause it right there once we come back down. You can see this one got pretty close to stopping out, but it did end up playing out for 10 points. You know, the 25-point stop, it got about 19 or 20 points out of 25 near the stop loss, and then it fully turned around and got TP here. So trade number 8 is going to be win for 10 points. Now moving along, we got TP there. This would be an A plus short. I'm not sure what happens here. Looks like it got the original TP. Didn't get tagged in there. Okay, now it's got tagged in. Looks like it's not going so well. Okay, that one got stopped. So trade number 9 is a loss. Okay. Now, after this one got stopped, we actually tapped into this short setup finally, the one that was been sitting here. And I know from hindsight that it did end up playing out, so I'm just going to put trade number 10 as a win here for 29 points. Okay, the TP is down here. It does get tagged in right on this candle, the TP down here, so I'm just going to play it out so you can see. Okay, it did win. However, in the process of it winning, there was 2 long setups that did fail, so you can see there's 2 entries for the first setup and 1 entry for the lower one. But yeah, they all got stopped, so it doesn't really matter which one you took. Yeah, which one you took. So I'm just gonna mark out the stop loss for all of them so you can see. And these will be trades 11 and 12. So they all got stopped there. So you can see all of them got stopped. So that means that trades 11 and 12 are both losses. And I want to say that was actually the last couple of setups that we had for the day. Let's double check that. Okay, I'm not sure if that was actually a setup or not. Looks like it wasn't. And then it gets to about 4 o'clock here. So yeah, that was actually the last 2 setups that we had for the day. These would be our final stats for the 1 minute. Let's tally it all up and get our final results. All right, so these will be our final results for the 1 minute TnS. Walked away with minus 3.4 R, minus 87 points, and that's with 5 wins and 7 losses. So today it did take a lot of losses, a little bit more than usual, I'd say. And it, it really doesn't help that most of the wins were for negative R. There's really only 1 win today that was for positive R. All the other ones were just for negative R, so that's definitely not going to help when you're taking more losses than wins anyways. And on top of that, it's for negative R. So not really too good of a day for 1 minute TnS. Pretty nasty red day, actually. But we'll keep an eye out for it for the rest of the week and see how it does. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this daily review. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.